It's not in the cards for you. I'm pretty good at insults, and I got the internet and a lot of free time.
Think of me, but as a dad. Dad, I don't have any kids, but if I did, Dad, I don't like turkey sandwiches. They're gross. Well, I don't like turkey sandwiches either, man, but I melted some cheese on them, put sriracha mayo on it. Maybe you do like turkey sandwiches and you just don't know it. Oh, and what's this? Saltines. Wheat thins. But Dad, they're so dry. I don't like wheat thins when they're all dry like that. Oh, well, then we have sriracha mayo. Admit it, I'd be a good dad. Just admit it, I'd be a good dad.
It's such a weird word, cishet or cishet, because you look it up on YouTube and they'll give you both pronunciations. And whichever one you use, somebody's going to make fun of you. So if you pronounce it cishet, somebody's going to make fun of you. And if you pronounce it cishet, somebody's going to make fun of you. What it basically means is straight, cisgender, not transgendered males. Guys like me. But the patriarchs, the dudes in charge. So the term is cishet or cishet patriarchy. And I'm constantly telling people, even guys, that they should embrace feminism. Because if you embrace feminism, you have women that are at the equal standing. Why are women bitchy all the time and complain? Don't you think it could be because of the cishet or cishet patriarchy that runs their lives? You get these douchebag bros that are like, yeah, women are just nothing but Nazis and lesbians. Like that Dan Campbell asshole that I knew. This is why I don't like wiggers and dude bros. They'll claim that they're Democrat, but then they won't be kind as Biden advocates that we do as a country. We come together and be more kind. Or they'll spend half their time complaining about women. And meanwhile, they date women that are just not good women. You know what I mean? Because that's what's left. They either get the fat girl that's not going to give their kids strong DNA. I get it. More cushion for the pushing. I'm not a weightist. If you want to fuck and you want to fuck a fat girl, that's fine. Or an overweight girl, that's fine. I'm a little overweight, so I have no right to judge. But if you want to have children, you have to, and you want them to be healthy, you probably shouldn't be overweight. I used to weigh 400 pounds. And I now weigh around 220. So I'm working on that problem. They also said the reason I don't have a girlfriend is because I don't display my cooking skills enough. So I've displayed some of that. Some reasons that they give are just bullshit, like you have to have a car or a job to have kids. No, you don't. They'll pay you to have children. And I'd be that kind of guy that would be at home all the time taking care of the kids. I can cook, clean, do laundry, change diapers, because I had nieces and nephew when I was young. My stepsister, is 7 years older, and I have two stepsisters. So at this point, I have great nephews that are like 3 and 4, or 2. You know, they're little boys. So I'm used to the whole changing diapers things. I did a lot of that when I was like 10, 11, and 12. And it's not really a skill you forget. You might have to relearn it a little. But I'm not any of these assholes like Walter Fate and Sofla say that I am. They have this shirt out that say it's not in the cards for me. Well, why not? Economic reasons, or I'm an asshole? Really? Well, economic reasons aside, half Gen Z are left wing, and I don't see a lot of them dating dudes who live at homeless shelters. And also being left wing, I see a lack of compassion towards diversity. It's just the baseball cap crowd for the past 5 generations. Like they're the only dude that exists. And these guys will come up cock blocking and gaslighting while claiming that they're Christians or socialists. So if that's not you, thank goodness. If you're there with 2 girlfriends or more talking about how you hate the greed and the wealth disparity of this world, stop being a fucking misogynist and hook me up with one of them so I can take care of her and cook her dinner. Just admit that you're a cab, but you like guys that run around in cars even though you're a communist. Because money, money, money talks to you. If that's not you, then you don't have to worry about it. But if you come up with an attitude problem, you're not my type. I like women that are sweet and Socratic. Socratic means you ask questions and you're nice to me. You're going to get exactly what you give me in return. If you call me an idiot, I'll say, I'm not an idiot. How am I an idiot? You're an idiot. How am I an idiot? It'll be that whole thing. I mean, if you have to call somebody names like your spouse, your girlfriend, or your boyfriend names in order to have a relationship, that is what is known as a toxic friendship. And you are displaying both toxic masculinity and toxic feminism at the same time because it's geared by capitalism loving drama. I can give you drama. Pour one out for the homies. Black Lives Matter. But at the same time, while I'm pissed off about racism, I don't like age phobia. Why won't you date me? I'm too old for you? You're an asshole. I mean, it's better than calling them bitches, right? It's true. You're a bigot. You just need to admit that you're a bigot. You only date dudes that are your own age. You're a bigot. And we need to be against all forms of bigotry as the left wing. Misogyny, racism, classism, age phobia. And I'm not going to date somebody that is willing to give in to guys that have more than one girlfriend. You know what I mean? Would you give in to someone that had more than one boyfriend all the time? Would you date that chick that just like has 4 boyfriends? So why would you expect me to date a chick that will date a guy or hang out with a guy and have sex with a guy that's got more than one girlfriend? It's COVID and you're out there slutting around like it's no big deal. Yeah, cheers to your disease. The point is that we need more acceptance for marginalized groups. Because what that'll do for straight cishet males like me, or cishet, is make us part of this diverse chain of human progress, rather than the fact that it's just one type of dude. Dudes like me in charge, with a lot of money. Dudes like me don't want dudes in charge that have a lot of money. Nice 2 girlfriends. I see hate greed. Hey, hook me up. Don't be a misogynist. Come over to Instagram and throw me your phone number or your address or whatever, or we'll have a conversation. I would like to be a dad and get married someday, but if Gen Z is going to be a bigot generation, I can't give my kids the strongest possible DNA. But I'm 10X. I would give your kids the strongest possible DNA as well. Oh, well, okay. You be a bigot. But if you don't take your goddamn flaming cross off my lawn, I'm calling the cops. Metaphors. Some people don't like metaphors. I don't really care if you don't like metaphors. Why are you asking me my type of woman? Are you introducing me to her? Maybe it an answer. You don't have to, of course. You could be an asshole. It's perfectly allowed. We allowed Trump to be an asshole for 4 years. But you know what? You just date a bunch of clones anyway. So if you're not that type, hit me up. If you just date the clones with the money and the cars, how are you like anything that you like? I mean, you're displaying qualities of things that you hate. Yeah, he's got a car, but I live outside of town. Might be an excuse. But you really only date these guys because they have cars and money more than me. Yeah, he works hard. But meanwhile, you're a democratic socialist. Well, excuse me, sis. I didn't know this was a bullshit world with you as well. Thanks. But the point is, you have to embrace certain things. Anti-misogyny, anti-racism. You can't just be against it kind of in spirit, you know what I mean? Anti-homophobia is what you need. Not non-homophobia, anti this crap. We need to be anti all this shit. Just on principle alone. And if you're a chick, or if that offends you, the word chick offends you, I guess you're offended easily. You're like a pearl clutching Democrat. Oh my. The environment that we live in is dying. We need universal health care. And you choose to just pick on words. Oh, okay, you're offended by words? Nigga. Good, be offended. I really don't care. There's an environment that's dying. We don't have universal health care. What I'm saying is that you need to listen to the left wing. We don't have our COVID checks for a year. We live in the richest country, all these industrial nations. Be offended by little shit. This is why we don't like Democrats, kids. You split hairs and you're hypocrites. Yeah, nice car, 6 girlfriends, lifestyle. But at the same time, you are a greed monger. You are what you hate. I would be a great dad. Don't even dare scrunch your face at me. I would be a great dad.
That's pretty good stuff. I know exactly how to
Hey, I bet you the fucking mountain is even run. That fucking idiot that just dug into his hand.
Did he talk really quiet? Did he talk really quiet? I don't know. Where's the same clothes like
This one, I don't know. I left my notebook there and somebody drew in it. Probably Isaac.
Gen Z women. Must I swoop? Must it always be the situation where it's me against some other guys? Do we really have to compete here? Do we have to look at this like, oh, you're not worth it when you're with her, and I have to call him out as you're walking around talking to everybody around you except your boyfriend? Let's examine your boyfriend for a second. Gen Z women, you're left this generation. You're left of the Democrats like I am. Cool. We have political groundwork. We're on that same level where we want more equality for everybody. Marginalized groups would have us included more. You befriend more black people, stand up for more black people. You have more cool friends. That's good enough. And then you get more and more mad about racism because your friends are being rejected. Which is fine too, because that's what you should be for your friends, is their guard. I can't tell you how many times I've been sitting around with my buddies under bridges, or when I'm homeless, I live in a homeless shelter. Again, leftists in name only. And the cops, Spokane, cops have come by and asked about problems. I've said, I'm just hanging out with my friends, officer. And these guys are Democrats, predominantly. And they presume that something shady is going on when my friends are black and brown. Fuck you. I'm going to stand up for my friends. So, you'll look at your boyfriend, right? You'll see, yeah. Is the reason I love my boyfriend because he's in my economic class or above, even though I'm left-wing like Lucas? Well, if the answer is yes, you're a hypocrite. And I don't like hypocrites. I don't like people that are hypocrites and then continue to be hypocrites when they're pointed out. Because you might be there like, yes, there's a lot of hypocrisy. But then you continue to be hypocrites. You'll be for Biden, but you'll be rude to me. You'll be left-wing, but you'll be rude to me because I'm poor and live in a homeless shelter. There's a second one for the hypocrites. So that puts a lot of us guys at the same sort of level, you know. We're like, but is your boyfriend cooking you lobster or offering to cook you lobster? I have plenty of videos where I'm cooking lobster or scallops or a steak or a roast or chicken. I'm demonstrating to you that I'm willing to take up some of the chores if we were to get married and have children. A lot of these boyfriends, when they cook for you, are just making shitty-ass jail food or tapa ramen. Or your boyfriend's cooking food for you, proving. So you'll be there like, you know what? I'm not age phobic. I'm a Gen Z woman. I'm 18 to 24. I'm not age phobic. And I'm not a classist. Where's the nearest guy with the baseball cap? Flat bill or curved? So I can eat some ramen. Not ramen house ramen, like tapa ramen, cup of noodle. So this guy can lay on some guy's bed all day and couch surf. And talk about how his rap or rock or country career is going to get off the ground as soon as he starts smoking so much pot. Why can't you just do both? Why can't you just get your rap career off the ground, learn how to be a good cook, stop dressing like a clone, and treat your woman with respect? I'm offering to do that. You really want me jacking your chick? Okay, here's what you need to realize about Gen Z. They're a little bit hard to interpret. With hip-hop culture, the millennials, you started seeing sort of like that black girl attitude in white chicks, but a lot of times it was just kind of the redneck chicks, you know what I mean? Like it was like the chubby black appropriation, but only among like white girls that live like in the country or were like the poor, sloppy people that lived in the city. Basically a wigger or a dude bro type is a urban redneck. I'm just saying that is a fact. They listen to rap, but they got kind of like that whole rednecky vibe to them. That's millennials. Okay, millennials, you know, they were kind of picking up more rap music. That culture was sort of inundating this culture, and cultures were colliding and becoming different. Now among Gen Z, that stuff is normalized. So you see white girls kind of acting brown, but it's not like they're acting like black chicks act today. They're acting like black chicks acted, I want to say, in the 1950s. White girls these days, like college women, kind of sort of act like black chicks in the 1950s. Like the whole thing where it's like whatever the good suggestion is, in their mind, they're niggas. Because a lot of them are atheists, so they consider themselves the nigga. Or they're women, so they consider themselves the nigga. The hot thing is, of course, to see how many of these marginalized groups you belong to, so you can have some sort of like superiority thing. Liberals, you know what I mean? Conservatives and liberals are both kind of conservative in this way. And that they're trying to like virtue signal the thing where it's like, you know, I'm rejected so I could be snotty white girl. I'm not saying I'm against that, because it's sort of normalized and it's not the harshness of like the city black appropriation stuff. It's like the suburban black appropriation stuff, where the black girls and the white girls are different. These days, young black women come off as incredibly sophisticated and incredibly classy. Does that offend you that non-white women are classier? I think since Obama, non-white women, in a lot of people's eyes, have become seen as classier, and white women have kind of seemed like bourgeoisie, classless idiots, where they'll be like walking around and doing like the whole thing where they're like telling their story for a minute. It's like, what the fuck do you do here? Where they're just kind of like narrating, you know. First you just see two Americans and you see that they're socialists. What they're doing is they're explaining to you who they are, so you'll talk to them. If a woman talks around you and it's calm, it isn't open for you to have a conversation. No matter the skin color. If a woman talks around you or comes near you, it is open to have a conversation with them. White women are difficult to understand that are like 20 years younger because of that whole thing where it's like they'll start referring to themselves as she rather than using the word I. And a lot of like young dudes do that as well, where they'll say he instead of I, which effectively gaslights everybody around. Because you'll look like, oh, are you talking about me? No, I'm talking about me in the third person, really. Or they'll just say you're an idiot when they're an idiot. Stuff like that. So what would you do? Well, that's happened to me where it's like, what do I do? Do I do the whole Bill Maher thing where it's like, excuse me, miss, we're kind of doing a thing here called first personing. Yeah, that could kind of work. It'll probably get a little bit of a giggle. Unless you're one of these uptight clowns. You know what I mean? The ones that say, there's justification for capitalism. At that, the conversation needs to end. Because that's a fucking red flag. Where it's like, don't make Lucas look good. That's a red flag. You've already sank to the level where I don't like you and will never like you again. If you don't have a decision on me, or your takedown of me is very slight and minor, that's fine. That's a normal person. But if your whole internet career is basically fuck Lucas, there is no apology. $1 million doesn't solve this problem. You fucked up. Just admit that you fucked up and stop fucking up. When I say that Christians are hypocrites, I'm not inviting you to be more hypocritical. Stop being hypocritical. If I say that you're age for making classes, you might even agree with me. But I want you, I'm doing that for you to stop being hypocritical. here's where you stop being hypocritical. So it's a lot of that. It's like, oh yeah, we're doing a thing here where you kind of like pretend you're on show. You know, I'm not saying I hate them, but a lot of times it's like they annoy me more than like people of color do, and people of color can annoy me too. I'm not saying that nobody is. I'm not saying that everybody there's a perfect race or a perfect person, because we all have our mistakes. I'm just saying, what the fuck is that? Yeah, third person it. Why do you third person it? Could you stop a minute so I could say hi, or something? You know what I mean? I would have to say something. But a lot of times it comes down to the fact that, oh, okay, you're cute. You're kind of being a cutie little third person. I don't know what else to call that shit. It's like you're narrating yourself. But if I look and you're not wearing a mask, suddenly whatever the fuck that is out there, oh, it's a pile of garbage. That's more interesting to me. Wear a fucking mask, aight? Okay, so if you're a Republican, you're probably already not dateable anyway, because our views are different. Where we would get along is where we're disagreeing with the Bidenistas, because the Bidenistas were pumped full of this oration from Biden that Biden said we need to be a kinder, gentler world, and you're judgmental and mean towards me based on lies and no evidence. You're just a prick. This conversation is done. You called me a bum. The conversation is done. Because your hate on me is based in classism. And to me, it sounds like you're the Republican and I'm the Democrat. Shut the fuck up, fascist. No one asked you, Republican. So there's already a line crossed to where you need to rebuke your bullshit and be nice to me, because I don't like you when you're mean. Take it up with Biden's philosophy and Bernie's philosophy before you talk to me, because I'm sick and tired of your fucking hypocrisy. We are not going to go out. We are not going to be friends, and we are not going to be boyfriend, girlfriend, or get married or have kids. You've lost the argument. You're a psychopath. You need to come back home to leftism. Not liberalism, leftism. Look it up. Come to my Instagram. I'll explain it to you just by you looking at my memes. I'm not going to write down what it is because I've already explained it to you. I'm a Marxist. I'm also an atheist. And the reason why largely has to do with the fact that I've read large portions of the Bible, and the world does not work according to the way that Jesus would want it to work. It's this corporatist bullshit system that most people right now, especially with the COVID-19 vaccine being delayed and people not getting their checks when America's the richest country in the world, already kind of agree with some like socialist sentiments. If you're there like be patient or whatever, you need to shut up. We're beyond hope. People are beyond hope. You're just a pedantic fucking like, I'm going to fit in with whatever the trend is of the day kind of fucktard, and we don't want to listen to you. We've lost the argument, I guess, to you. So you win. Don't talk to me. Leave me alone. So I mentioned that I don't believe in God. And the reason is, it's not really hatred of anything. It's based on the hypocrisy that Jesus and I agree upon. Ironically enough, it's stuff like Luke 12:15. It says, "Be wary of greed and to fight greed." Well, okay, I live in a homeless shelter and don't have a girlfriend. Classism. Jesus would be against. Bernie would be against. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is against. The progressive women of color and the Democrats are against. Classism. That's fine, you know. It also says, Matthew 6:24, God or money, two masters, not both. Well, you've clearly chosen money over God. As a matter of fact, I don't care if you choose neither, or even both. But if you're rude to me, this conversation's done. Matthew 19:21, if you want to be perfect, go sell your possessions. So obviously you're not perfect under the eyes of God, or your version of God, which is Jesus. Matthew 19:24, it's easier for a camel to fit through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into heaven. Well, okay, a lot of the atheists are already like, yep. The atheists on the left are. Not the atheists in the center or the right are. They're like, well, it's a book of lies anyway. I'm just going to do what I do because I want to be comfortable and make money and fit in with my bourgeoisie twat Christian friends. Whatever. Conversation's already done with you. Mark 23, Jesus hates hypocrites. The whole chapter is basically him hating on the opulence of religion and talking about how he hates rich people and how he agrees that money and power is bullshit. So even if you're not a Christian, again, I'm going to throw you to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So you stop calling me a deluded Bernie bro. You need to come back to reality here. Biden ain't done shit yet. Matthew 5:28 is interesting. It doesn't really relate. We know there's plenty of verses where Jesus didn't like fornicators as you're slutting around during COVID. Please be reminded of the fact that you're stupid. And Jesus doesn't like you. So it says in Matthew 5:28, anyone who looks at another with lust while in relationship has already cheated. What that means to me is if I point out the fact that I don't really like most Christians because they're assholes, but then you continue to be an asshole. According to Matthew 5:28, you thinking about being an asshole, according to that mode of thinking, is good enough for you to be an asshole, or to be considered an asshole by Jesus. So if you're thinking about being an asshole, or I've already pointed out that you're an asshole, then you continue to be an asshole. According to Jesus, you're an asshole just by thinking about it, or not realizing that you're an asshole and you need to stop. So I'm going to refer you to Biden's philosophy, and I'm going to refer you to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth and Yang and all that. I'm going to refer you to your former grace, where you need to be. So the questions you'll be asking is stuff like, what are you entitled to? Well, that's easy enough. What the fuck are you entitled to? Why would I date you if you're rude to me? But I can answer that question: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If I want to date someone, you don't have a right to stand in my way. I'm an American. That's obvious. You're just doing it to provoke. So I'll provoke you back. What do I have to offer? Well, I think the fact that I've demonstrated that I can cook really well, and also make kids' food shows that I'd be a good dad. I know how to make lobster in a toaster oven. I know how to make roast in a crock pot. I know how to make a bunch of different food. I'm going to try and teach myself how to make sushi because I think that would be fun. That's what I have to offer. I've also been an uncle for the past 30 years. So when the kids were little, I was changing diapers with my mom when I was 10, 11, and 12. And a lot of dudes didn't get to experience that. So I was able to bond with my nieces and my nephew kind of like they were my siblings, which was a lot of fun because I kind of think of my nieces and my nephew as like my siblings, like my little sisters and my little brother, even though they're like between the ages of like 22 and 31 or 23 and 31. They're still the kids, you know what I mean? And they'll always kind of just be the kids. And that's, if you don't see that as kind of nice and cute and sweet, you've already lost. I say to myself, you're not going to get along with these people because these people will judge no matter what you do. You know what I mean? Like, you'll say anything. It's like, well, what do you want me to say? That's the thing. Like, I've demonstrated and proved that I can cook. I've talked about it. I've talked about how I'm really good at pointing out people's bullshit. I'm good at taking constructive criticism, not mean-spirited, hater-motivated shit. That's okay. I let my haters be my motivators. Sofala has a new shirt that says it's not in the cards for you, which just makes them look like jerks. And if you're a reasonable woman and a guy is wearing a shirt that says hate Lucas on it when I've done nothing wrong, you're right there seeing how your boyfriends are pieces of shit, or the women that you're dating are just straight up pieces of shit, and you should probably date other people. Because if you have a shirt on it that says like fuck Sam, and Sam's only real fault is that he doesn't have a lot of money and he likes young women and is polite to them, you're the fucking asshole. I am polite to women. I'm polite to anybody that's kind to me. I'm polite to people that aren't kind to me. I ask them how their day's going when they call me names and stuff. I'm the kind of guy that's like, you call me retarded, I ask you, are you okay? So I think we're sort of out of the box here. We're out of the woods. I've demonstrated what I'm good at, and I've shown you my weaknesses and my strengths. So if you got the whole attitude problem, you're not my type of woman. If you got the whole, like, you don't have enough money attitude, one, you're a classist. I don't like you. You're basically my version of racism. And I don't like racism either. Just because I like having cool friends. You know what I mean? I like everybody until you cross certain lines with me, where you just take and never give in the friendship or something like that. That ain't my kind of friendship. That's called toxic friendships, and we need to learn to teach people to avoid that shit like the plague, which, by the way, is what we're experiencing right now under COVID, as you're swallowing 50 dicks a month or fucking 50 pussy a month. You're not smart if that's you. What am I entitled to? What are you entitled to? What do I have to offer? What do you have to offer?
You're scaring the hell out of me, man. Everything that I do good, I try to do good, and